Oh, geez, folks, what a Catalan GP. Two red flags, two heavy incidents on track. One involving Alex, he was taken to hospital. Uh, he was reported conscious at the site of the accident. He was taken to the medical center, then they decided to transfer him to the hospital. Hopefully he makes it out on two legs and ready for the next GP. The other red flag came out for Joan Zarco, who had a very awkward crash. Missed his braking markers, ran into Luca and Pecco, and found himself caught um, in Pecco's bike in the wheel arch. Uh, they all made it out at least. Yeah, two heavy crashes, two red flags, race being uh, separated into two parts eventually. Whew, let's get into it. Q1. Let's get into Q1. Frankie set the fastest lap. He went faster than Martin, but then that lap got deleted because of a track limits violation coming out the last corner, I want to say. Just past the curbs, there's a green, I don't know if it's a curb also, but a green runoff area. So Frankie ended up dipping tires in that, and that was classified as having a breach in the track limits. So his fastest lap time got deleted. He ended up having to go again, do another faster lap. That time he got a tow from Pecco around the whole lap, so he ended up finding pace. He ended up topping Q1 if I'm not wrong. Uh, and then the other bike that came out of Q Q1 was Jorge Martin. Martin, he basically two bikes, right, for Martin. The one bike that he went out on first, his first bike, let's say, bike number one, it wasn't giving him the feel he wanted. And so when he came after his first runs, when he came back for a new set of tires, he changed the bikes as well. He swapped over to the second number bike. That bike was feeling better for him. It was giving him a better feel of the track around the lap. But he ended up binning that bike after he set a time good enough. He ended up binning that bike. So, having qualified for Q2, he ended up using the bike that he wasn't liking, let's say, he wasn't enjoying in Q2, in the early stages of Q1. So, we had to use that bike for Q2, the entirety of Q2. Let's get into Q2. I just remembered this much. I need to open the notebook from for the other parts of the weekend. Again, can't do lives, can't do watch-alongs. Having to rely on the notebook, and the notebook is a pain. It's a pain. It's a pain. It's a pain. Hopefully, the issues, I'll get them sorted. I've been saying that for I don't know how many weeks now. 3-4 weeks easily, a month easily. But yeah, issues are still persisting. I don't know what to say, man. I'm tired of it too. I want to do live streams, man. I want to do live streams rather than post videos, but when life gives you lemons, you throw it back at life. You don't make lemonade, man. You throw them back at life. Q2, let's get into Q2. Let me just make a quick note of something. Okay, Q2. Jorge, just one bike available, crashed the better bike, the bike with the better setup in Q1. So he had just one bike with the not preferred setup available in Q2. Where else am I? Yes. In the opening exchanges, Pedro was P1, DG P2, and Binder made it up to P3. Binder, I don't know, man. This was for me, I want to say the first and last sight I had of Brad Binder this whole weekend. In the opening laps, Pedro got towed from. Hmm? He got towed by Zarco, who in turn got towed by Alex. And then on his second lap, Acosta went 0.2 tenths quicker. So he's further extended his lead, basically. Alex put a better time in, but it was only good enough for P2 on his second lap. Jorge was not competitive at all in his first runs. He was last, and then they all came into the pits. So basically, in the first runs, man, when they first come out in the session, on those tires, he put in a couple of laps, not representative, was last. And everyone came in mid-session of Q2 for the tire changes to see their track maps, to see what other riders are doing where they're losing time, where they're gaining time. And then Jorge put on new tires. Everyone else actually also put on new tires at the same point. Ralph Fernandez and Zarco were holding on to P3 and 4 with 6 minutes left in the session. Everyone came out with new tires for their final push laps. Bez, who was in P8, ended up crashing out, trying to set a faster lap. Bez was in P8 at the time. Jorge hadn't set a good lap time, let's say. He was in P12. Horrible weekend just in general for the Aprilia boys. Both the championship leaders. Not sure what happened with the Aprilias, by the way, this whole weekend. They just seemed to have nothing in response to the competition. He crashed out into turn 2 onto the flip-flop from 1 into 2, the right-hander of 1 to the left-hander of 2. It's connected corners, so I like to call it a flip-flop section. Just bear with me if I mention the flip-flop in the rest of the sessions as well. Just know I'm talking about turns 1 and 2. He lost it into turn 2 on the flip-flop, and then where are we? With 2 minutes 40 seconds left, yellows were drawn. Were withdrawn from the Bezecchi crash. The yellows were taken away. Green flag, racing conditions throughout. Alex was being followed by Acosta, Jorge, and Zarco. And Acosta went faster than Frankie to put it up in P2. Alex, he kept pushing. Frankie, by the way, he was also setting red sectors at the time. Alex ended up losing out in his first run, let's say, on the new tires. But he kept pushing to the flag, but couldn't improve on his final runs. And Jorge, I don't know, not the setup he wanted on the bike, but yeah, he somehow made it up to P3, and Bez, who was in P8, because he couldn't go fast, he ended up being relegated down all the way to P12. Pecco Bagnaia couldn't make it out of Q1. He was relegated to P13th. Yeah, P13 is where Pecco started. Let's get into the results. Hopefully they will pull up. Where are they? Pull up. There we go. Pecco bagged pole from what's his name? Frankie Morbidelli. This was by about 2.5 tenths, let's say. Yeah, about 2.5 tenths. Close behind was Alex Marquez in P3, but again, Alex later on he just couldn't improve. He said this. I think this was his benchmark time, if I'm not wrong, but he just couldn't keep improving on his benchmark time. And then Raul Fernandez, he was about 4 tenths down. Raul and Joan were about 4 tenths down on the pole time. Raul brought up P4. Zarco, Raul brought up P4, and Joan Zarco brought up P5. They were both about 4 tenths down. Similar with Digi in P6. Quattararo brought up P7, Binder P8, Jorge Martin P9, Joan Mir P10, and Jack Miller P11, and Bez in P12. This was your basically starting grid again. Not going through Q1. This is just the results of Q2. These are your top starters from Q2, and your top 12 and 13 if you want to include pecco for the grid. Now, after the Q2, you had the other qualifying sessions of the lower classes, Moto 2 and 3, and then you had the sprint race to finish the day. The sprint, yeah, a lot of action, man, in the sprint. Acosta, 5 lights on, 5 lights off. Pedro Acosta got a good start, and he went, first of all, he went to the middle of the track to cover, who was it? Frankie in P2, and then Frankie, he couldn't get off that well off the line, so pecco ran further to the right to cover off Alex in P3, who had actually quite a decent start. Into turn 1, Alex was behind Pedro and switched to the outside, tried to make something happen around the long way into turn 1, but nothing was doing for Alex. But Pedro had it all under control. Binder and Mia's bikes got tangled into turn 1. And they crashed out. Coming on to T2. Where am I? I'm skipping so many details. Basically, where was I? Binder and Mia's bikes got tangled into turn 1. They ended up crashing out. Again, it was just a matter of misjudging braking and hitting the fellow rider, because you had nowhere to go, especially in turn 1. The whole pack is bunched up into the first corner. You don't really have an order yet. You don't have spaces you can squeeze through. So it was just one of those normal turn 1 racing incidents, accidents rather. And that's what happened into turn 1. Frankie went wide into turn 1 amongst all this chaos, and Joan Zarco coming on to turn 2 got the run, and he was showing his front tire to Pedro, but yeah, it just didn't quite pan out. But where is it? Yeah, but Joan stayed ahead of Alex for P2. Pedro was in P1. And Jorge made it up to P5 from, was it P8 on the grid? Yeah, sorry, P9 on the grid. He made it up to P5. Bez, bad start from him. Yeah, it was just terrible. And what is it? P5, Bez. What have I written? Jeez. Yeah, Bez was in P12. He made it up to, where did he make it up to? It was P11. I haven't done a good job of noting it, so bear with me. And Frankie ended up falling out, let's say, down to P7. By lap 2, Pedro was in P1. Alex had overtaken Zarco down the straight block pass into turn 1. Alex got P2 from Zarco, who was in P3. Raul was in P4, and he was pushing hard on Zarco, trying to make things happen. Raul had some decent, let's say, Raul Raul Fernandez was basically a thorn in the lead runner's boots, let's say. Uh, he had pace to just be there or thereabouts and throw other riders off their pace the whole weekend. Raul was trying to put pressure on Joan, then Jorge as well was coming for this fight, for the podium fight and all. Where is it? Digi took advantage of the fight between Raul and Joan Zarco. Digi also made it through and went up briefly, but into 10-10, Raul got back his P4 position on Jorge and these guys, Jorge Digi. And Zarco somehow managed to stay up in P3. It was a whole lot of wheel to wheel between a couple of bikes, two riders ahead were fighting. The guy from the back came. He took advantage of the riders ahead losing time. And somehow heading into the heavy braking down the back straight in 10-10, Raul somehow managed to get back his positions. Where we lap 3, Alex with a better exit coming out the final two right-handers. That's what, 10-12? It's turn 13 and 14. The final two right-handers coming down to the pit straight. Alex was just there or thereabouts on Pedro, but he closed up real well in the right-handers, and he set it up quite well on Pedro for the run into turn 1 down the straight, but into turn 1 under braking, nothing was doing for him. He was the faster rider than Pedro, but Pedro seemed to be backing the pack up. I don't know. Pedro, it seemed he didn't have out and out pace to run away with the race, but he was just fast enough to keep the rider behind, but slow enough to let the people further back slightly catch up. So it seemed that he was backing the pack up slightly, or maybe he was just slow. He couldn't run the pace that Alex was running, perhaps. By turn 9, this fight continued down to the back straight, and the lead group had involved Pedro, Alex, and Joan. Joan, he wasn't exactly in the fight, in the lead fight, but he was just there or thereabouts. If the two, Alex and Pedro, got into a fight for a couple of corners, then Joan would have overtaken the two, having judged where the gap would be. So Joan was just hanging on to the tail of these two. And then Raul and DJ in P4, Jorge in P6, these guys were the catching pack. With Frankie and Bez close by Jorge. Jorge coming on to 10-10, he slid out of 10-10. Not sure what was happening over there, but yeah. It was, I don't know, all these riders were pushing and they were getting a whole lot of, what's it called? What's that jerking action, man, that these riders like to say? It's not, it's kind of like wheel spin. Basically, you're putting more torque through the tire, but then the tire it's not gripping. The rears is loose. That's the best way I can put it. Into 10-10. He ended up sliding out. Not sure what happened. He couldn't control his bike. And then lap 4, Alex set it up again down the straight on Pedro. But Pedro defended the outside and Alex with a block pass down the inside. So for a couple of laps, Alex had it set up, but Alex was the one being pushed to the outside, and Pedro was keeping the inside line into the right-hander. This occasion, Alex switched it up, and somehow he got the inside line, made the block pass in the braking zone, leveled him, and then took the lead. Then later on, Alex, Pedro, Raul, and Digi. Where is this? So Digi overtook Zarco into turn one to get P4, and Bez and Pedro where am I reading? Sorry, Bez and Pecco were now leading Frankie. Frankie, I don't know. He was just dropping. He was just dropping, man. Uh, he ran wide into turn one on the opening lap in the chaos of Joan Mir and Binder's crash, and then he just didn't have pace to come up. So he was running the majority of the race in P7, in P6 maybe, and Bez and Pecco were Bez and Pecco was fight for most of it. I think they both managed to come through, but then Frankie later on down the line managed to get Bez again, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, that was it basically. And then on lap 7, so this story was about lap 5 and 6, and then on lap 7, Maverick retired. Maverick, by the way, came back this weekend, but he had technical issues, man. Not sure what was going on with the KTM. All the KTMs suffered technical issues. Maverick retired. Digi was in P4 ahead of Zarco by 1.4 seconds. Yes, and then Bez was what have I written? Digi P4 ahead of Zarco by 1.4 seconds, and then Bez 1.2 seconds behind Zarco. That's what I'm trying to say. Digi made gains on Pedro for P3, and Raul controlled P2, but P1 Alex, I don't know, Alex, once he got through on Pedro, he seemed to be running Pedro's pace, but behind Pedro he seemed to be faster than Pedro. Wasn't sure exactly what happened over there with Alex's pace. On lap 8, Pecco went through on Bez for P6, but 1.7 seconds he was behind Zarco in P5. Acosta was keeping Raul in check and hanging on to his rears, especially coming out of T10, turn 10. He pulled the pin, but I don't know, the overtake it was dicey, let's say. It was dicey. Overtook Raul on P2, and he made it stick. All fair credit to Pedro Acosta. He made it stick. Bez was losing touch with Pecco, and then he was under pressure from Frankie, who was closing in on him. With 2 laps to go, Pedro was closing in on Alex, and Digi on Raul for P3. Into the braking zones of turn 1. Where is it? Yeah, Digi closing in on Raul into the braking zone of turn 1. He's later on with the following lap, he managed to level Raul into the braking. He set it up the previous lap, paid off a lap later. Into the braking of turn 1, leveled Raul on under braking, and then took the inside line and got P3. Bez was in P8. Frankie was through on him later on, and Nea got Bez for P9. So it's just not Bez's day by any stretch of the imagination. But then I think Bez ended up taking the position back, or something happened. They had a fight. They had a fairly decent fight. Uh, Enea and Bez. On the last lap, Pedro on Alex's rears, and Bez was out of the points in P10. Acosta was pushing Alex along. He was on his rears through. He basically the whole lap he was on Alex's rears, pushing him through the flip flop of 1 and 2, down the downhill of 10.5 at the back, and then even leading up to the uphill crest of 10.9, heading down the back straight into 10.10. Pedro was constantly pushing Alex, but nothing was doing for him. Into 10.10, he tried outbreaking or even just leveling Alex, but Alex broke later than him. He was not under pressure at all. Let's say Alex into 10.10, and then coming out the right-handers. Uh, it was what, the right hander of 12, 13, and 14, if I'm correct. I might get the corner numbers wrong. uh, Pedro was right there on Alex's rears. Uh, but nothing doing, and Alex got a decent exit coming out the final corner. He got a decent exit, didn't get some wheel spin, laid down the power evenly, smoothly. The bike wasn't bouncing on him, and he had just enough of a bike length to stay ahead of Pedro Acosta, who pushed Alex hard, especially on that last lap. There was a couple of times where you would have said, "Oh, Pedro's gonna get through," but somehow Alex just kept it. And I think the defense into 10.10, both of them broke late, but Alex slightly later stayed ahead into 10.10, and basically that sealed the deal. Even coming on to, so 10.10 is the left-hander, and then 11, 12, or 11, I don't know, would be the right-hander coming down that uphill, downhill right-hander. If Pedro wasn't gonna get through there, then it wasn't gonna happen, and Alex just had enough of a buffer, and that was basically all that he needed. So let's get to the sprint results. Yes. Alex finished ahead of Acosta again, just a bike-ish length, maybe a bit more between the two. Pedro finished uh, 0.041, so that is this is 0, 10 hundredths. So 400ths behind Alex is how close this finish was between Pedro and Alex. Photo finish, basically. Alex took took the top step, Pedro second step, and Digi rounded off your podium. Raul finished in P4, Joan P5, Pecco P6. Pecco started quite far down in P13, but he did well to get up there. But again, I don't know if it's this year's Ducati or what. It's just not suiting Pecco. Frankie, not sure why he didn't have the pace. He qualified P2, he ran wide on the first lap, but yeah, he just didn't have pace to come up. He just didn't have pace to come uh, up the grid during the race. Ayagura P8 and Bez in P9. He re-overtook Anea. They had a good scrap, these two, Bez and Anea. Anea brings up P10, Bez in P9, Luca Marini P11, Fermin Aldeguer P12. Again, Fermin broke when? In January. This is now the 5th month, so let's just say 5 odd months ago, he broke his femur and he's been racing. So hopefully he should be getting close to 100% Fermin. Let's see. Quattararo 13th, Diego in 14th, Alex Rins in 15th, Jack Miller 16, Toprak 17, and Augusto Fernandez, if I'm not wrong, in 18th. You're not classified. Vinales retired with the technical issue. Jorge crashed it, and then Binder and Mir crashed on the opening lap in the opening corner. That was your sprint race. Now for the even bigger headache, the race. Oh, this race. What a race. This is why I would prefer the doing the live streams, because then I'll just call it as I see it. Now I've made short notes, I've made some long notes. Hopefully I remember what I've been trying to write or whatever. Let's see how this happens. Your race now. Brad Binder coming at the end of the formation lap on the grid. Something went off with his bike. He ended up pulling into pit lane from the grid. He didn't dive into the pit lane. He came to the grid. Something was wrong. Then they opened a gate for him. He went into the pit lane, started from the pit lane. He did start, thankfully for him. Alex got a good start with Pedro as well, but Pedro got slightly better start. They went left and right. Eventually, Pedro had the lead into turn one. Where is it? Yeah, into turn one, Pedro had the lead on Alex, and Raul managed to get into P3 into the breaking of turn one, because Digi also had a good start, by the way, of note. Where is it? Of Alex and Raul following in P3, yes. Jorge moved up into P4 from was it 8 on the grid? P9 on the grid. He moved up to P4 on the opening lap in the opening few corners. Into turn 5, Raul went tight down the inside of Alex, made it stick. You would say he bullied his way through Alex, but yeah, it was a risky move. I didn't think a move was on there. I thought maybe Alex was just Raul was just having a look on Alex, but he ended up pushing through on Alex, and he made it stick. And then Alex was what should I say, offset, offline, let's say thrown off rhythm through the exit of turn 5. So then through turn, is it 6, 7, and then 8, basically that the squiggly section coming onto the back straight, Jorge ended up basically pushing Alex off onto the green part. We'll just call it the extra curb outside of the red and white curbs. You have a little bit of runoff area, and basically shoved Alex onto the green stuff into, I think it was turn 8. I think the corner where he ran off Alex was turn 8 before the crest of turn 9 onto the back straight. But Jorge at least gave Alex the position back. It wasn't like Alex tumbled down the order. He just ran wide, but he managed to stay with Jorge, and Jorge gave the position back at least. And then into turn 10, Jorge got the lead, got slightly ahead of Alex, but ended up running wide, and he lost out to Joan Zarco as well. P6 for Jorge after turn 10. On lap 2, turn 1, Martin leveled. Where am I? Sorry, P7 for Jorge is what I meant to say. P7 for Jorge. And then into turn 1 of lap 2, Jorge leveled Frankie. He got the position. Wait. This is 6, yes. P6. So Jorge was in P6 with Joanne in P4. Right. So let me redo this again. Lap 2, turn 1, Martin leveled Frankie uh, for for position. He ended up getting it, and then your top order on lap 2 was Acosta P1, Raul P2, Alex P3, Joan P4, Jorge P5, Frankie P6, and then Digi P7, and Bez was in P8. This is your main race, by the way, the first half of the main race. On lap 3, into turn 5, Alex shoved out the way by Joan Zarco. Joan bullied his way through Alex. Alex got bullied quite a bit in the opening some laps for P3. And then into turn 10, Jorge almost got Zarco, but again, he ended up running wide, Jorge. On lap 4, Jorge took P3 from Zarco into turn 1, and Alex into turn 5 reclaimed position from Zarco. Almost 1 second was the gap at this point between Raul in P3, Raul in P2 and Jorge in P3. On lap 5, coming from a long way back, Raul, late on the brakes, got ahead into turn 1, and similarly, Alex got through on Jorge for P3. So basically, Raul Fernandez got through on Pedro into the braking of turn 1 for the lead, and Alex got through on Jorge for P3 into turn 1 as well. Same corner, same lap. Just a couple of meters behind this fight between Alex and Jorge happened for P3. And then Bez was stuck in P8, but then he made a mistake. He ran wide. He went into P12. Yeah, he ran wide into 10-10. And Pecco was in P11 at this point. On lap 6, Raul was in P1, Acosta P2. He was hanging on to him. And then 1.2 seconds behind in P3 was Alex. Jorge and Zarco. Jorge P4, Zarco P5, Digi P6. This is how your pack was showing. Your leading pack, let's say, was showing. Digi was showing to be fast and steadily upping his pace, steadily cutting time into the riders ahead. Alex was also picking up pace, and he was closing on to the leading two, being Raul P1 and Acosta P2. On lap 9, Acosta blocked past to he blocked past this guy Raul Fernandez to get back his P1, and Alex at this point was right on the tail of these two fighting. He was right on the tail of the lead. 1.1 seconds to P4 Jorge. So the lead trio and the gap to P4 Jorge was 1.1 seconds on lap 9. And Digi was in P5. He was running along with Jorge. Digi got ahead of Zarco amongst all this chaos. And then in lap 10, Alex took the... Yeah, on lap 10, Alex took the apex, the inside line of turn 1, and went past Raul for P2. And Enea crashed out at this point. Now, this is worth noting. So, suspected, well, crashed, let me say retired on track with a suspected technical issue. Now, this is important to note, Enea. It will come in handy in a bit. Lap 11, P1 Acosta, P2 Alex. 4 tenths behind was Raul, and 7 tenths behind Raul was Jorge in P4. On lap 12, Alex and Pedro heading into turn 1. basically they brushed leathers heading into the braking of turn one. But Pedro stayed ahead because he had the inside line and he was able to stay ahead because of that. But they kept pushing each other till the back straight of turn 9. Now, coming out of turn 9, this is where this whole chaos happened with Alex. Coming out of turn 9, so the bikes were running clean, the bikes were running level with pace. Uh, can I just get one moment? Just ooh, okay. Just had to sort out something. I was saying, uh, this whole lap, right? From the moment the lap started down the straight, heading into turn one, these two were neck and neck. Alex just stayed behind Acosta into the braking zone. Acosta stayed ahead just because he had the advantage of the inside line. Braking further than they did, they would have ran out of track, basically ran out of asphalt. So coming out of there, although Pedro was in the lead, but Alex was right on his rear tires, and then they followed each other all the way through the through the lap, coming out of turn 5, that downhill, that funny left hander of turn 5. Alex was just getting closer and closer and closer, and he was lining it up for the back straight. Coming out from the squiggly bits of what was it? Turn, I want to say 7, 8. Alex slightly lost out some ground, but again, he was still quite close to Pedro. And then coming out of turn 9 on the back straight, Pedro had a decent exit, but it seemed that the technical issue that happened with Vinales in the sprint, the issue that happened with Enea on lap 10, 2 laps earlier, it seemed that issue happened with Acosta as well. So immediately when he felt something off, he raised his hand to let the rider behind know that something is wrong, something is off. Uh, but it just didn't pan out. It didn't pan out because Alex was so close, he didn't have time to react to Acosta's issues. Alex ended up clipping his rear tires, and Alex ran wide. He ran off, he ran into the gravel, and basically uh, he hit the sidewall. Basically, the bike flipped. Alex took a hard fall, and yeah, it was a nasty crash. Amongst all this, while Alex was still sliding on the grass and everything, the bike was still flipping and tearing itself up into pieces and then some. Fabio Di Gianantonio, he was just a passenger. He was trying to stay clear of debris and everything. He was full caution mode. And then I think it was the rear tire. It flung in the air, hit Fabio as well. It was all sorts of chaos, man. All sorts of chaos. All sorts of chaos. Uh, what else? Control flip slide. Yes. Nasty fall for Alex. Yeah, it was super nasty. I think he went head first, if I'm not wrong. So I think that was the major concern. What else? What else? Debris. Yes, yes, yes. Alex was reported conscious, on track by the medical officers, so that was good. That was a good sign. DJ got some help as well, and then he slowly rode his bike back to the pits. Now, again, you are eligible for a restart if you are able to ride your bike, if you're able to get your bike back into the pits under your own steam, basically. Uh, What happened next? What happened next was all riders were eligible for restart, except for Alex. Of course, he had the heavy crash. The doctors weren't gonna clear him to restart because he had to be taken in the ambulance to the medical center. So Alex was ruled out. And Nea was not allowed to restart because he had already, let's say, retired from the race prior to the crash. He had nothing to do with the crash. He wasn't racing on the lap of the crash as well. So Enea was not eligible for restart. Uh, where was it? And yeah, Pedro ended up getting a puncture and everything. He ended up being taxied by the Pramac bikes. I'm forgetting which constructor. Basically, Jack Miller and Top Rack helped tow Pedro back to the pits. Uh, it was a question mark for him, for Pedro, on whether he would be allowed to restart or not because his bike had issues. So if they managed to sort out his bike, then it was fine for him. Technically, he was cleared to start. It was just whether the bike would start or not. Uh, Ended up working out for Pedro. He was able to get back. And then the grid. So the race was to restart with 13 laps because the results could not be declared because you hadn't completed uh, 3 quarters of race distance. So the race was going to restart. The new race distance was 13 laps, and the grid was to be formed as of lap 11. So that was your new grid. Now let me go back a bit. So race 1 is done, and then race 2. So post your first red flag, your 13 lap race. Everything got sorted. Riders were allowed to get to the grid. They had their sighting lap, they had the warm-up laps, and then race 2 started. So Pedro was allowed to restart. His bike got sorted. Jorge has so Jorge had been getting good starts, so he was to watch out for because he wasn't starting down in P8 or 9. He was starting higher up, so he was a rider to watch out for. On the start, Raul got sandwiched by Pedro and Jorge. Into turn 1, Pedro kept ahead, and Joan Mir as well with a brilliant start. Strolled around the outside, down the start straight, went around the outside into turn 1, and then he also managed to pick out Jorge for position, and Joan Mir found himself in P2 at the restart. And then red flag again. Why? Because Pecco, Joan Zarco, and Luca Marini were involved in a crash. So Luca and Pecco did end up getting back up and restarting. Joan got tangled up on Pecco's rear seat and the tire. Very awkward position for Joan Zarco. Basically, he missed his braking marker and he ended up locking his bike slightly, let's say. He ended up clipping a bit of Luca Marini. Ended up basically he had to run into someone, and he ended up running into the back of Pecco. Basically, that is what happened, and he didn't have anywhere to go. He was sandwiched in the chaos of turn 1. Again, riders get all close to each other, and it becomes tight into turn 1. So that was an issue, that he didn't have anywhere that he could hide, basically. Where else? He had nowhere to go, and he got caught with Luca, and then he ended up running into the rear of Pecco. And yeah, he got tangled up really awkwardly, man, with Pecco's bike. If it was back in the day, it would have turned out quite nasty, but at least Joanne is going to walk away with all limbs, let's say. Uh, yeah, Joanne was then sent to the medical center. Alex was sent to the hospital. We were told at that time. Digi and Pecco had issues in their hands. Ralph Fernandez was also injured. So basically, the first accident, the Alex Marquez accident with Pedro, debris were flying off of Alex's bike, and this kid, Ralph Fernandez, was also close by. So all those debris were hitting him. And I think they mentioned on the broadcast that his collarbone was hit, he was injured and all, took some bruises. Digi also took some bruises in the crash. When the tire hit him, he ended up sliding off. His hand was also in pain. Pecco, because of this crash, also got injured in his left hand. A whole lot of riders got injured, man, today. It was all sorts of chaos. All sorts of chaos. And then everything got packed away, cleared away, and you had a new race now being started. Basically, a sprint race now. You had basically two sprint races because the main race had a break. So you had 12 laps, then the 1 lap shoot off, and then the other 12 laps. So yeah, it was all sorts of chaos, man. I don't even know what to call this race. Your third race starts. Your new race distance now is 12 laps. After where's this? Okay, never mind. So 12 laps was your final race distance, and then Luca was allowed to restart. Thank goodness for him. If I'm not wrong, Pecco as well was allowed to restart. I haven't made a special note for him. I think he was though. Jorge and Acosta off the line were pretty level heading into turn one, but Pedro stayed ahead, and Raul kept third. Raul kept third, Jorge in second, and Acosta in third. Raul kept third. Pecco got a good start to P4. Jorge squeezed out of the. Oh, okay. So this was down in turn 5. That downhill braking, the what's it, left-hander. Not sure what happened with Rolf Fernandez. It seemed like he just lost all his braking or whatever. He came in too hot, and it didn't pan out for him. He ended up running wide himself, but he ended up taking Jorge Martin along with him. So the satellite bike took out the factory bike, and Jorge was super pissed about this. Saw a shot of him going back into the garage, and he was letting it off on the management. Raul dropped to last. Raul dropped to second last. Jorge dropped to last, but I think Jorge ended up getting back on the bike. I think he did rejoin. Yeah, he just collected Jorge. Not sure what happened, and then they both ran off into the gravel. Both rejoined. Raul carried too much speed, it seemed, and went late on the break. And yeah, Mir had a similar start to the first initial start. Yeah, and Bez was in P8. Bez, just terrible weekend throughout. No pace for the Aprilia boys. He seemed to have something, but he just couldn't find a clean weekend, basically. He just couldn't find a clean session, basically. On lap 3, P1 Acosta, Mir P2, Pecco P3, DG P4, Quartararo P5, and Bez was in P8. Your championship leader was in P8. Mir was sticking to Pedro, and through the double right-handers, the final corners basically, to get close, but not quick enough. He wasn't quick enough. Mir wasn't quick enough to overtake Pedro. He could somehow hang on Pedro's rear tires, but he couldn't mount something to put himself ahead of Acosta. He wasn't quick enough down the straight, and DJ on Pecco's rears at this point on lap 3, and passed into 10-10, into the heavy braking of 10-10 down the back straight. DJ got P3. Firmin was up to P5, and Ayogura in 10-5 got Quattararo for P6. Mir kept Pedro in check, and he stayed on Pedro's rears. DJ followed them through DJ followed through with Pecco behind by a bit, and on lap 7, information basically was relayed that while everyone else was on softs, Pecco was on mediums, because in the second start, the 1 lap race, Pecco used a soft tire then, and it got wasted, so he ran out of new softs. So Pecco on mediums ran out of new soft tires, and Firmin, who got Pecco for P4 on lap 7. Pecco was struggling with the tires, with the medium tires. I don't know if he was struggling to bring them up to temp, or they were overcooked that early into the race, or what happened. Just not sure. He didn't have pace on the medium tires. Mir trying to find a way. All over the track, he was trying to find a way, but nothing was doing for him. He couldn't show his front wheel. He could tell Pedro that he's behind him, but couldn't really challenge him. On lap this would be 9 in 10-10. DJ threw on Mir, and now both pressuring Pedro, and Mir doesn't have the speed to beat Pedro, so Mir didn't put up a fight with DJ. Maybe he thought if DJ could fight with Pedro, then he could sneak through, possibly. But DJ just might have the pace on him, Pedro, and boy oh boy, did DJ have pace on Pedro. What is this? Why are you? Okay. Ayogura, who made it to P5. Firmin also ended up making positions up to P4, and they were looking to close in on the leading trio. Pedro was ringing his bike to stay ahead. Pedro, this whole weekend, he was basically doing what Mark used to do on the Honda in his last couple of seasons on the Honda, where he would just ride out of his skin and push that bike past its limits to just stay on track and to pull out a result. That is what Pedro was doing. He was riding out of his skin this whole weekend to stay on that bike and to pull out a result. With 3 laps to go, Mir had snapping. Again, Mir didn't have front running pace. He had enough pace that he could stick with, but again, once the guys ahead turn up the pace, you have to turn up the pace as well. So under braking, under turning, the rears were sort of stepping out quite a bit for Mir, is what was happening. Yeah, his bike was snapping under load, trying to keep up with the leaders. Firmin and Ayogura were close to the lead group, and DJ into 10-10 block pass, but ran wide, and around the outside he carried this fight carried on into turn 12, where DJ got the inside line. So basically, he set up. Who was this? If I'm not wrong, this is Pedro. If I'm not wrong, I didn't note down who he set it up on it, but I think it was Pedro. Basically, into 10-10, DG had the inside line, Pedro had the outside line, but then DG ended up running wide. Let me move my hand up a bit. DG ended up running wide, Pedro with the cutback, but then DG sort of kept it going around the outside, and then from the left hander it turned into the right hander going up the hill. So then Digi got the preferred racing line, let's say, and he ended up making the move stick into turn 12. Where else? We Digi gets the inside line and the lead of the race on, where is this, with 3 laps to go. And then down the pit straight, Digi has already pulled bike lengths on Pedro. Digi's, I don't know, the machine or him or a tire saving difference, Digi just pulled away from Pedro as soon as he got through. On the last lap, Digi is clear in the lead. Mir into turn 1, it was basically do or die. Mir fired it down the inside of Pedro into turn 1, made it stick, and in turn 3, Femin took Pedro for P3. At one point, Pedro seemed like he was going to win the race, and then it seemed like he wasn't even going to be on the podium, and then Pedro didn't even end up finishing the race, for crying out loud. So Pedro just didn't have edge grip. The overtake that Femin did, and the one where basically Mir was able to stay ahead out of the flip-flop, was basically, I think, tire edge grip. I think Pedro had run out of edge grip, and he didn't manage his tires that well compared to the other riders, so that's where he lost out. Augusta was doing so much of the front running, doesn't even get a podium. And then coming into the final corner, Costa crashed and that bike went flying. That KTM went flying into the barriers with contact from Ayagura. Raul Fernandez for his contact with Jorge Martin for sending Jorge into the gravel. He was cleared of any wrongdoing, no penalties, no further investigation on him. But Ayagura was hit for the final corner incident with Pedro, sending Pedro flying. He was hit with a 3-second time penalty, and Ayagura ended up losing quite some positions. At the end of the race, when the riders were in Parc Ferme, when the podium finishers were giving their interviews and all, before the podium celebrations, news came up. 6 riders were under investigation. I forgot to note everyone except for the 2. That was Joan Mir, the guy that finished P2, and Pecco, that finished P4. These guys were noted for possible tire pressure infringement, either too high, too low, not sure. Let's see what happens. But yeah, these guys were under investigation. Let's go to the results. DJ got P1. DJ, once he found his rhythm, by the way, not just DJ, man, almost all these riders, it was such a hectic GP with all the crashing, all the debris, all the injuries. And DJ got hit with the tire, by the way. Huge shout out to these riders and their fitness, man. But again, DJ, once he got into his rhythm on the second GP, on the second race, let's say the second half of the race, once he got into his rhythm, once he cleared Pedro Acosta, he just never looked back. He just started eking out the gap immediately on Acosta, and what a finish for him. Got the win. It will be a memorable win for him. I think this is his second ever win. Joan Mir got P2. I was hoping he would get the win, but at least he got the podium. Thank God for him. For a guy who has had a horrible time at Honda, thank God for Joan Mir. He got the taste of champagne, let's say. Famin Aldeguer again with that femur surgery and everything. It's only been about 5 months. He was racing and now finally he's on a podium. He should be getting back to 100% health. Uh, Great for the man to be on the podium. Pecco just missed out on the podium. If you look at them finishing on track, he wasn't far off. I mean, unfortunately for Ducati, Pecco was the only rider with Marquez out this weekend. Should be back in the next race. He should be back again. I'm saying should be. Not sure if he will be back. But yeah. Pecco also wretched weekend for him. Got caught up with Joan Zarco and Luca on the second restart. Yeah, he also injured his wrist. He had the ice pack on his hand. Bez somehow he finished P5, man. Somehow Bez had no pace this whole weekend. Bez was lost. He should have lost the lead in the championship. Somehow he stayed ahead. He stays ahead in the championship. And Fabio Quartararo, great result for him, P6. Luca Marini, P7. Brad Binder, P8. Binder as well seemed lost to me, but at least top 10 finish. Ayogura, P9. Wait, is this the race? Yes, this is the race. Ayogura, P9. Diego, P10. Alex, P11. Frankie, P12. Vinales P13. At least he finished the race. At least his bike didn't give up on him. Jack Miller P14 ahead of teammate Toprak, and then Ralph Fernandez gone wide early on, couldn't make it back, P16, and then Augusto Fernandez again. I think it's Augusto Fernandez. Correct me if I'm wrong. P17. Not classified finishes, the guys that didn't finish the race. Jorge Martin, he ended up retiring afterwards after being pushed wide by Raul. And then Pedro crashing into the final corner on the last lap. Not his fault completely. Your non-grid takers, basically, for the restart. Joan Zarco took this second start, didn't take the third start. Alex took the first start, didn't take the second and third starts. And same thing with Enea. This was your weekend. Crazy weekend. Can I pull out the standings is what I want to see. It's loading. What is this? No. Championship. Results and standings. Let's try this. Event. Is it in teams and riders? Why can I not find the standings? This is so messed up. I can't find the standings, for crying out loud. Championship. Where does thou standings be? Where does thou standings be? For crying out loud, man. Shouldn't be that hard to pull out the standings. Finally, Riders Championship. Finally found the standings. Bez. Ooh. Let me put this here. Bez leads 142 points. He leads Jorge Martin by 15 points. Jorge Martin with a wretched weekend. He's only 15 points behind with the whole season still left. Plenty of points, plenty of rounds still left. Uh, Bez is on 142 points. Jorge on 127 points. Digia in 116 points. Only 3 riders in that have scored more than 100 points. Pedro in P4 is on 92 points. P5 Ayogura on 77 and Raul on 68 points in P6. Alex is on 67 points in P7. Pecco is on 63 points. Marc Marquez on 57 points. And then to round off your top 10, Fermin Aldeguer on 47 points. It's a Aprilia fight for the championship, no doubt. And that's why Jorge was super pissed off at Raul Fernandez, because the championship is on the line for the team, for the riders. And Raul is not in the championship fight, unfortunately. So he should have let the factory bike go through. He shouldn't have been over aggressive on the factory bike, basically. And Digi now, he's closing in, man. He's closing in. Digi is 26 points behind Bez in P1. Jorge 15 points behind Bez in P2. Yeah, this is your weekend. This is your weekend. Again, I wish I could have done the live streams. It would be so much easier for me and for you guys. But still, issues that I cannot control, and they are taking the better of me. We will meet tomorrow for the IPL matches that happened today on Sunday. For MotoGP, we'll meet in the next round. For Formula 1, we'll meet next weekend. Yeah, it should be next weekend in about 4 or 5 days time. Hopefully, again, fingers crossed, like they have been for the past month and a bit, maybe. I get my issues sorted. We do live streams. That's more fun. It's more interactive. I'll see you then.